The latest big money man to loom large on the Texas skyline is a Fort Worth businessman who's not just a published author, he's also a motivational speaker and a proven investor with big ambitions. No, we're not talking T. Boone, Ross Perot, or J.R. Ewing. He's John Paul Pigeon, and by the way, he's all of 14.
Our entire economy will go down the drain if we aren't built upon strong financial principles. I look up to Mr. Warren Buffett and Mr. Alan Greenspan, and so I'd like to follow in their footsteps and try and change my generation as they have changed theirs.
That's some big talk for a guy in the 8th grade. This is your business look, huh?
Yep, these are my suits. Back here are my school clothes, and these are my shirts.
Well, now, wait a minute. This looks quite an investment.
Studies show that people who dress well are 35% more successful than those who don't. And so I feel that that would definitely be an investment in my future.
And lest you think he's just a chip off the old block, John Paul's parents are both seminary graduates who were completely unprepared for a son obsessed with spreading the gospel of fiscal responsibility.
He thinks differently about life. He has a broader grasp of finance than I ever had or would have ever had.
It all began one evening when John Paul, at the tender age of 7, picked up Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad, for a little bedtime reading. For John Paul, the light bulb went off. The book jump-started his dreams of becoming a super successful investor and entrepreneur.
We're reading it together, How to Own Your Own Corporation. He says, Mom, this is what I want to do. I want to incorporate. What 7-year-old child wants to own their own corporation? So I say, okay, well, how about we start with the lemonade stand? She comes back with a business plan.
We made $238 that day. And then the next key was that instead of taking that $238 and go and spending it out on something else, we took that $200 and reinvested it to make $2,000.
John Paul had his parents invest that lemonade money in a startup electric company. He felt it would be a solid long-term investment, so he writes a book about his experience, which he sells on his own website, along with a couple of other products. Not bad for at this point, he's all of 9. I'm somebody's parent. Should I be listening to you?
I think that it's important that you listen to my message, which is the message of fiscal responsibility and educating your children so that they can have a financially strong tomorrow. If there's a chance that we will come off the lows, where would the market bounce back to?
His interests in the stock market have also led him to learn more about how to trade stocks. John Paul's no Jim Cramer fan.
Buy! Sell, sell, sell!
But he does enjoy learning how to trade using a stock trading simulator. And he knows serious investors should only trade using their
Booyah!
mad money. There's no doubt the whole family has been changed by John Paul's passion for finance. 10-year-old Sean Michael now bills himself as the currency kid and sells piggy banks on his big brother's website. And get this, John Paul now has control of both of his parents' IRA accounts. Even family playtime includes board games with names like Cash Flow. Child's play takes on a whole new meaning here. What do you think of my situation?
Well, I think that's important that you parlay your high linear income into good passive residual income deals.
Huh? I almost lost my shirt. And now his parents have taken their biggest leap of faith. Yep, they put John Paul in charge of the family budget. So, wait a minute, you told your 14-year-old son, take our family budget, run with it?
Well, we don't have a lot of other things for him to work with.
Well, it's not a huge estate. But,
In any family budget meeting, it's always the little things that can get you heated up.
The goal of the budget is not to not spend money on frivolous expenses, because I do want Charmin and I don't like Scott tissue.
$1 is just not going to crash the budget.
I heard that one of the line item elements of your budget is donuts.
Yes, I enjoy my Saturday donut just as much as anyone. And I think that's important that we set that aside, or else we're going to go out and splurge money on donuts.
I knew it wouldn't be long before John Paul said it was my turn for a little Finance 101.
Okay, boss.
Okay, well, I'd like to teach you what I think are 4 important financial principles to financial success. There are 4 different types of income that you can make through real estate, 3 different types of businesses, 3 E's to financial success. And the final principle is having accountability and discipline to yourself.
Discipline? This is where he started channeling Susie Orman.
Are you out of your mind?
It's important to not go out and have an impulse buy on something highly expensive, like a high-definition TV. That would be considered a major doodad. Make sure that you limit these doodads.
How many other teenagers do you know who dismiss a 60-inch plasma as a major doodad?
Now I'd like to present you with a little thinking cap and give you a little quiz to see how carefully you paid attention. So what are the 3 E's?
What are the 3 E's? Education, experience.
I earned my A, but I bet he still calls my celebratory latte a doodad.
People are like, what do you want to be when you grow up? He gets upset by that question. He's like, I want to be who I am right now because I have something to say right now.
His sermon? Save, invest like Buffett, and ditch those doodads. Because as this money missionary tells us, there's no time to lose.
We need to come forward as a nation and as a generation to change our futures.